All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Paul's Best Podcast, a podcast where we talk about only the best. As I always say, if you're looking for anything negative, you are in the wrong place. Today, I have a guest I'm so excited about, okay? I wanted him on the show for a long time. I love his stand-up. He's got a new special out, which we're going to talk about. Kumail Nanjiani is here. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
You know, this is, you want to know why I like you? I'm going to tell you why I like you. First of all, I
love how this podcast starts, by the way. This is great.
No, but first of all, I always liked your stand-up because I watched your stand-up. I remember when you would do stuff for Comedy Central. I watched it. But we were going to schedule this before.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And you know what? You just rescheduled it and was like, I'm going to make that's a well, listen, I'm Sicilian and Greek, so I hold vendettas.
Well, I'm Pakistani, I do too. I think that's what our people have in common. You wrong me, I'll remember you for. If you wrong my wife, I will never forgive you. I have a list.
You know what's funny? As a young, because I came up in comedy in New York.
Yeah.
And we always remember who's good to us. But we really remember.
I was just talking to my buddy outside, and I was like, I remember everybody who wasn't nice to me before they thought they had to be nice to me. I know we're trying to keep it positive, but no, I'm just saying I know all the people. Yeah, I remember.
I think as comedians, because it's such a vulnerable business, and we remember back here who made us, like, I won't mention names, but I remember this one. I'm nervous. I had just got into the Comedy Cellar. This is years and years ago. And I'm on stage and like I'm having the set of my life.
Yeah.
Everything. Like it was like if you play pickup basketball, my shot's dropping, I'm getting rebounds, I'm making the right pass, everything is going good. My crowd work, the stories are hitting, the quick jokes are hitting. And the next it was an undeniable thing where everybody in the room, but also the comics and the security in the back, they're all looking at. Yeah. And then I walked off and I was just it was kind of a bigger comic at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember walking off and they looked at me, and not that I wanted it or even needed it, but it would have been nice to address what happened because everybody else addressed like, dude, monster. Yeah. And they just kind of looked at me and then just looked away. And for me, it's like forever.
So in that moment, did that hurt your feelings or were you like, fuck that guy?
I think it was more the second. It was more it was more fuck that guy just because I know the set that I had. And it's just one of those sets where like as a comic, you know the sets that when things aren't going and when things are really clicking.
Yeah, you know.
And you know and you feel it and just everything and it would have just been like, hey man, great.
Yeah.
Great thing.
I really can't wait when we stop rolling and you tell me who it is. Because I'll tell you, I remember the first, a legendary comedian was super shitty to me.
Yeah.
Legendary comedian.
Yeah.
And then, maybe take this out, when he died, everyone was like, oh, he's such a good guy.
And you're like, yeah, it's a shame.
I guess to some people he was.
Yeah, no, we all hold it because
not Bob Saget. Bob Saget was absolutely wonderful to me. Norm Macdonald, absolutely wonderful to me. I want to make sure people understand.
I can't believe you just said that because when MySpace was a thing, and I was probably 24, 25, MySpace was a big thing, and it was like the Dane Cook 2006, time. Right. And I wrote a blog. You were able to write blogs on the.
I remember.
And I wrote a list of the best people that ever treated me, and it was Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Jim Florentine, Artie Lang. Great. Artie Lang was incredible to me. Like to the point where I'm going like, you're such a famous known guy, Howard Stern show and all this stuff, and you're treating me as if I'm at like an equal peer, and you just remember stuff like that. Of course, Bill Burr, who I ended up traveling with on the road for a while, and who else? There was somebody else that was, but I wrote down all the people that were just absolutely genuine sweethearts, where you're like, there's just not a bad, they just want you, they're just happy.
Well, some people are threatened by it. I think I find some older legendary comedians just love comedy so much that if they see you do well, Patrice was really nice to me. I only met him once. He saw me have a set, and he was like, hey, man, that was really good. And that meant a lot to me because, he's got one of the best specials of all time, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think some of these, like, that's how I felt from Norm, I was like, or you just love comedy so much that, if you see somebody who's funny, that's all it takes.
Yeah, yeah.
But then some people get threatened by it. Some people get threatened where you're like, well, who are you? Why are you here? So you know, it goes both ways.
Yeah, and I told this on Rogan, so I'll give you a quick one. Was when the set of my life really was, and I've said this a million times, but I'm just telling you because we're talking about the set of my life was at Madison Square Garden in the round in 2018 with Burr. I went second out of 3, obviously Bill's show, and I had the set of my life, and somebody goes, dude, Chris Rock and Questlove are in the other room, and Chris Rock just said you killed or something. And then I'm walking backstage at the Garden, and it's literally just me and Chris Rock, nobody else.
Yeah.
And we're just walking, and it was after the set of my life, and he just made eye contact and just kept going. And but you know what, it's also like I get it, like people are just like, you know, these young comics were coming up, they're doing whatever, and I don't, but I always make it a point to when I see somebody kill, I go, hey,
yeah,
man, you have to,
you know, I feel that sometimes where, like, you know, like for me now, I don't have as much to prove. So if I'm doing like a local showcase in LA, I'm trying new stuff, I'm not really going for it, and then you go up with someone who you've never seen, and they're like, it's a great crowd, I do well, but they're like, these are the best 15 minutes I've ever written. And they go up and they absolutely murder.
Yeah.
I remember being that guy. I remember when I was like, oh, all these people are more well-known than me. Watch this. Like, I had one of those when I first got to LA, and all these people were on the show. Colin Quinn, always wonderful to me. Conan O'Brien, all these people. And I was like, I've been doing comedy at that point like 8 years, and I was like, here's the best 12 minutes I've ever written.
Wow.
And it was incredible.
Yeah.
But then when you're on the other side, where you're like, you know, it's just another show you're doing, you leave, and then the other guy murders, and you're like, oh man, I used to do that. Of course, I always, you know, I'm always like, I really go out of my way to tell people, hey, great job, or whatever, or which bits I liked, because I know what it meant to me when I got that from people.
I was very nervous about opening for Patrice, which I did at Bananas in New Jersey, and this was like this was when he was like working on that special, and I just got off, and I remember the host, you know, struggled, was young, and you know, of course, when you're young and you're hosting, it's tough, but I remember I had a really good set, and he just went like this. Good job. And you know, and stuff like that means a lot. But I wanted to say something, you know, to you that I really have to say. Speaking of telling people what you feel, you have a really unbelievable way about you on stage, because there's like a patience in your. Because I'm a comedy, like stand up first, like no matter what. For me, it's stand up first. Like if I get an acting gig here and there, no matter what, it's going to be stand up for me. It's what I love. But when I watch somebody, you could watch somebody's like, you could watch their. When you watch it the way like a football coach watches game film, it's different than somebody watching a game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
With you, you have this unbelievable patience and almost inner confidence in yourself and charisma that like you just stand in the pocket and you're just like, you smile, you stand in the pocket, and you deliver your shit, and it's great. And one thing, you have a new special coming out called Night Thoughts
on Hulu,
which is funny because my special years was called Nocturnal Admissions.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that's the thing. Like, you know, we're night people, and it comes out at night. It comes to me. It comes at 2:00 in the. I'm laying in bed next to my wife, and I lay my head on the pillow, and I want to shut everything off and get a good night's sleep. And then it's like, what if you talked about? Oh, what if you added to that? What if you? And I'm just like, you know.
I wish I could turn that off. I think I'm from a nocturnal family. I think that's what it is.
Are you always been a night owl?
Always.
Me too.
I'm not now. I switched in COVID, where I started to like really go to bed early. But like my family, you know, my mom still goes to bed at 2 a.m. every night. On the weekends, it's even later. My dad works, but on the weekends, he goes to bed at like 2, 3 a.m. I saw the new Mission Impossible with them 11 p.m. on a Wednesday night.
Wow.
And that's like over a 3-hour movie.
Wow.
I was falling asleep. They were ready to go. On New Year's Eve, they're home later than I am.
Oh, so you come from that.
My whole family is like a real late night. Like, you know, like in Pakistan, where I'm from, you don't eat dinner before 9 p.m. Is that right? You do not. You go out at midnight to like where the street food is.
Yep.
It is jam-packed. It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's amazing. So my mother's 100% Greek, and my father's 100% Sicilian. But what the Greeks do is when the Greeks celebrate, it's all night. And the 80, 90-year-old grandparents, all night. Yeah. It's coffee late. Coffee will come out 10:30. You know, it's the party keeps going. Yeah. I feel like in America, things kind of shut down.
I mean, dinner is at 6.
when me and my family go to dinner reservations, the other day I was like, you want to do like a 7:15? My wife goes, that's way too late.
I just got a 6:15 for tomorrow night. I really did.
Did you really?
I really did.
That's great. Yeah, we had a 6:30 the other night, but we do go home. My wife passes out 10 o'clock. I'm a night, so I'm like, when I'm home, I'm like, hey, do you want to watch a movie? And she's like, Paul, I'm gonna be out cold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out cold. But. I guess this is not talking about not giving away your special because you put a clip out, but I was just telling you before we did this, the clip you put out about the marijuana.
Yeah.
Can we talk about? Because you put the clip out, right?
Yeah.
So it's so funny because I'm not a weed guy because I get paranoid. So I'm a cocktail guy.
When was the last time you smoked weed?
The last time I smoked weed, I was home. We were watching a comedy at my house with my brother, probably a year. Like when
And you got it then too. You got the fear.
No, because I learned.
Right.
Now it's 2 puffs.
No more.
If I go to 3, it's gonna be it's the first 20 minutes of my life. You're gonna know something's a little happening to me.
Yeah.
But I like the 2 puffs. And then I like a Naked Gun movie. Yeah. I like an airplane, a silly literal comedy, something like that. And I got to be with somebody I really trust, love, and like. My brother, a friend.
Safe space.
I'm on the couch. A safe space. That's exactly right. These guys, I got friends that would smoke and just rip through blunts and just go about their day, take tests, go live their life. That wasn't me. I was a cocktail guy.
People like... on set will be high and can be really, really good. Like Seth Rogen is high and really good. I cannot do that. I cannot. No. In my 20s, I used to get high to write, and I realized this is a crutch now. I can't it was like time to write, time to get high, and it was like every day. I was like, I can't do that. So I had to make it purely recreational. It's never to it's only to relax. Will you have cocktails? Are you a drink? No, I don't drink.
You don't drink?
No, just pot. Once a week.
So weed occasionally just to relax, but you don't drink?
No.
Okay. But you said something. I would have friends that were big weed guys. So they would say, hey, I'm going to get my bag. Do you want to come with me? And your joke was, back in the day, do you remember when you had to go buy the bag of weed at the dealer's house? He goes, you had to go there and you had to watch a little bit of The Matrix with him.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a friend and me and a buddy went to his house and Godzilla was on.
Yeah,
and they're just sitting watching Godzilla. And I'm just like, dude,
Can we make this transaction so I can get the fuck out of here? It was also like you go into their house and it's never the right amount of dudes in there. It's either not enough dudes, just one guy, and you're sitting on a couch with one dude, or 20 guys. You're like, what are you guys doing over here? Never any girls, never any women.
The ratio's horrible.
Oh, horrible. You walk in and it's just 20 guys, and then you sit and watch a little bit of the game with them, and they're like, hey, so do you have any stuff? You have to pretend to be friends with them a little bit, So I'm very grateful that it's you go into a shop. I don't have to watch Matrix anymore.
And what I do is I can tell a friend if they have joints. I can say, what is that?
Right.
Because I had a friend go, you're not gonna freak out. This is actually and it actually made my body mellow.
Yeah,
because now it's way more sophisticated.
Yes.
Yeah. So you went from stand up. I wanted to ask you this before we get into best of, and we have a great best of with Kumail. It's gonna be a great one. But when you transitioned really from the stand-up a lot to being on a movie set a lot and acting more, do you, the way you said before that, all right, everybody else on the show is bigger than me, but watch what I do. When you're on the movie set, is the confidence, is it a different thing than that? Because I've done a couple of movies, and I'm starting to act a little more, and I used to be really afraid of it, and now I go, I'm just going to read the lines, do it my way, have a good time, take the direction. Right, and do it. But what was it a big thing? Because you got into it quick, and you were kind of in the whole thing for really big.
Yeah, in the beginning it was really, really scary. I was on the show Silicon Valley for years, and I was a couple of years into it already when I did that show. I was terrified. We did 6 years. I would say the first 4 years I was terrified on that show. It took me a long time to get over the fear of oh my God, when is my coverage going to happen? Because when you're shooting a movie, it's they got to move the camera around. This is what people don't realize when your friends visit set. They're you do this scene so many times. It's yeah, well, when you watch a movie, 2 people are talking, it's cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
You got to get all of that,
Yeah.
And so, like, you got to shoot here. So I would always be like, when am I up? When am I up? Oh, God, I hope I get to before lunch. Oh, my God, here's my turn. Okay, I got to drink my 5-hour energy. I was really, really nervous for, like, years and years and years. And then I was doing a big movie, and I was like, if I'm as nervous for this as I've been for other stuff, it's just going to flatten me. And, like, the pressure's going to be too much. So I was like, I just need to have fun and be relaxed. And now I find I'm so much better. I used to think, like, being nervous was part of the process. Like, that had become the thing. Like, it's time to work. Now I get nervous.
Yeah.
The heart starts going. You start sweating a little bit. And now I'm like, no, it's the opposite. It should feel the exact same. And that's how I go out on stage, too. I want to be, like, talking to you. Oh, it's me? Okay, I'll be right there. You go up and continue the exact same way rather than being like, all right, got to get up for the game, you know?
Okay.
When I'm relaxed is when I'm at my best. When I go out on stage for stand-up, my goal is really to have my energy be zero. Like, really go out and be completely calm, and then go up and down based on what the situation requires. But
Yep.
my goal is to, like, go out on stage and be really quiet and just sit as long as I can and just talk out the top of my head as long as I can before getting to the material.
Dude.
I try to wait as long as I can before getting to the material.
100. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I like to go out there, kind of either talk about what's going on, how the people are, like before you get into the first joke, and just sit on it. It's funny. Mike and I, we just did a theater, and I was like, I'm really gonna just be patient here and let it. And like you said, the silly little ad libs, let that sit.
Yeah.
Keep going with it. Okay, guys. Before we continue with the podcast, we have some stand-up comedy shows to announce. I will be performing New Year's Eve, December 31st, at the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island, for 2 shows, 8 and 10:30. I will also be at one of the best comedy clubs in America, January the 8th, at the Washington, D.C. Improv. We also have Valentine's Day weekend, February 12th through the 14th, one of the best rooms in the country, Tampa Side Splitters. And for more dates, go to paulvirzi.com. More 2026 dates will be announced very soon. Let's get back to the show. The acting thing did scare me. I did. I remember Pete Davidson put me on the Bupkis season finale, and he was like, "Hey, you're doing a scene in a rehab, and it's going to be Paul Walter Hauser, Machine Gun Kelly." This, and I'm going, "Dude, Paul Walter Hauser is freaking incredible!" Like, you know. But then they were just really nice. See, that's the thing with me is like if people like I'm really like, and I need to get over that, like how people treat me, because in stand up I don't have to worry about what anybody. I'm not good with other people's moods.
Right.
If your bad day shouldn't be my problem.
Well, you're right. It shouldn't be your problem.
You know, and right. So and Pete was great because Pete's like, nobody like that is on my, like this set, like everybody's cool, and if anybody's like that, you let it, you know. So it was just really kind of nice. Stand up, we don't have to worry about any of that shit. Stand up, it's like you said, hey, when am I going on? All right, just let me know when. Let me know when.
Well, that's after years of doing it. You know, in the beginning,
exactly.
It's scary.
But your the stuff I saw for your new special is incredible, and you don't look like you have not been doing stand up for a long time. You look like you've been doing it, and it's great, and I'm a fan, and I appreciate you being here. I
appreciate that, man.
No, you're great. Kind. All right, so now you know the show. The show, what we do on Paul's Best is me and my guests, we talk about the best of whatever you're interested in, whatever we both like, and we kind of came up with a great one. So today we are going to talk about the best video games of our lifetime that we've played. But by the way, it doesn't have to be like, it could be like, it's very subjective.
Yeah, I'm sort of going by whatever like really hit me the most, you know. So even if it's not like the best version of that, this is the one that really, really like got me when I first played it.
Okay, that's the same with my list. So I'll let you go first, okay? And we'll just
Are
go
you
back.
Going in chronological order or just randomly?
Whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be from the beginning.
I'll start with the game that I think might be my favorite video game of all time.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, this is what I say. Usually, Skyrim. Do you know the game Skyrim? Elder Scrolls. Skyrim is like a big fantasy world, like Lord of the Rings type, dragons and swords and magic.
What console is it for? What?
It was on it's been on all of them.
Okay.
And this game now I think is close to 15 years old. It's quite old.
Okay.
But what's great about that is the world is so fully fleshed out, and it's just like you can walk anywhere. Like I could be here, I see a mountain far away, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk to that mountain, and you just walk there. Or you go and you're like, what's inside this well? I wonder. And you go down, and there's a whole world. There's a whole storyline underneath the well. You find like all these letters, and there's like recipe books. Like it's like just a completely fully fleshed out world. The story's great, but it's really like finding all that stuff. You really feel like the sense of discovery with it is really exciting.
Okay.
Because it doesn't tell you like go here and do this. It's sort of like where do you want to go in the world?
So you're kind of the explorer in the game.
You're kind of there's like a story. You're trying to like beat the bad guys, but you can kind of do whatever. And to me, just the excitement of like an entire continent, and you can walk anywhere and truly just like look at a thing and be like, I'm gonna fucking walk there and just walk there. So great.
That's a great feeling. Yeah, I my son plays Fortnite.
Yeah,
and there's they keep adding worlds. I mean, it's kind of a much smaller than that. But like as somebody that doesn't play games like that a lot, I was like walking around
huge.
and you find like a chest and you're like, and there's stuff in there.
Yeah,
I like stuff like that too.
Another game like that, since we're talking about it, was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'm gonna pick that one.
I remember that.
Because I've loved all of them. I play them all. I played the most recent one again all the way through, like earlier this year. But I'm going to pick Vice City because
I remember
that
Vice.
was the first one. I didn't play GTA 3, which was the first 3D one. I played Vice City. It's set in Miami in the 80s. You can go anywhere. Remember, like, driving on a highway and Sunglasses at Night came on, that song? And I was like, this is the coolest I've ever felt in my life.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And you'll play it all the way through?
Yeah.
You go all the way through?
I go all the way through. Yeah, I go all the way through. I don't go to 100%. Now there's like all this hidden stuff, but I always finish the main story. Yeah. What's yours?
All right. The first game that ever got me where I'm like, this is nuts, and we have a goal, and me and my buddy played it was Contra. Do you remember Contra?
Yeah,
that was Sega Genesis, right?
Contra, the original one was Nintendo, and then Super Contra was Super Nintendo.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So it was Contra on Nintendo.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
That was one where me and a buddy each had a control, and like we would like you go into the thing together, and I was like, we're gonna do this. We gotta. It was almost like a bonding thing with a friend, and we're like, no, we get to the next level. And like one guy's it was the blue guy and the red guy stood on the sides shooting the thing to blow up that thing. So like that was one where I was like, oh, there's a storyline, and that was like the first one. But the game that blew me away, the one game that like blew me away, and I the whole way through where I actually would get scared and jump was the first original Halo. That's
on my list.
The first original Halo, because that was the first time where it was like the gun has a light on it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, a neon purple green alien pops out. You screaming, and you were like, and I was like, oh my god! And I went all the way through with that. The Chief Master, the whole thing. That one got me big.
Yeah, I remember three moments playing that first Halo game that blew me away. One was when you first land on the actual Halo and you look up and you could see the Halo going up all the way above you.
I just got
you're like,
how nerdy is that? I just got the chill.
Yeah, it's so. Oh my god. And then I remember, this is a smaller moment, fighting a guy, and as he's like, his bullet runs out, he like goes to hide to reload, and I was like, oh wow, these guys are smart. It's the first time I fought something that wasn't just trying to kill me, it was also trying to like not die.
Yeah.
The AI in that game was so good. And then, so in that game you're fighting, these aliens are called the Covenant. And then a third new evil alien shows up called the Flood. And they're like these little things, remember, that like run around and scurry and take over people, like make them zombies, like space zombies. And the cutscene where they first show that thing showing up, you like don't know what's going to happen, and it's all dark, and it's the flashlight.
Yeah.
And then suddenly all those things show up. To me, is the most exciting moment I've ever had in a video game.
Oh, you brought something up. It is smart because they had those invisible shields, but then you saw them get behind them.
Yeah.
And it was like they were trying to protect themselves. It wasn't just coming at you.
Yeah. That was the first time I noticed that in a video game. I don't want to say it's the first time that ever happened, but it's the first time I played a game where I was like, oh, they don't want to die.
And another thing about Halo that I loved, it was, if I could remember, I don't remember being able to do this in another game, but it was the first time you could get into like an RV.
Yes.
Or like you could get into something and actually travel with
Yeah.
a gunner.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like you
Yeah.
could, there was like the first freedom
Yeah,
of a
you had
battle.
that. You had like the end. It was called a warthog, and the end of the first
Warthog.
Yeah, you get on it. Someone's in the back shooting. You can also get on there like alien little like it's called a ghost, sort of like a scooter type thing. And then they have the tank you could get into. Yeah, that's right. You just like get into any car you want. That's what I loved about GTA 2. You know, you're like driving around. You're like,
Yeah.
that looks like a nice car. I'm gonna take it. And the weird thing about that is then when you drive around in real life, you kind of were like, all right, oh, that's a nice car. I bet I could get it.
Well, it's also too, like you said, it's like the freedom. Like there was a freedom to like when a song came on,
Yeah.
that was cool. You kind of felt like you were like in
Yeah,
there.
you were really in it. It was so great.
What's your favorite, or what's the best, or took the most of your time, consumed the most of your time for Nintendo games?
I didn't start on a Nintendo. I started on a Sega Genesis.
Oh, me too. Genesis is one of my
Yeah.
favorites of all time, maybe.
So I would say on the Sega Genesis, the game I loved the most was a game called Revenge of Shinobi. Did you play that one?
Oh, I know that one.
You're a ninja.
I didn't have it, but I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah,
ninja, and the last level is so difficult because it's this big maze, and I was never able to beat it. And then a few years ago, I got a Genesis, I got that game, and I still couldn't beat it. The games are much easier now than they used to be.
Yeah. So Sega Genesis was one of my favorites. I got really into Sonic.
Yeah.
You know, Sonic was
was
their
awesome,
version
yeah.
of Mario, I guess.
Yeah.
But I loved that one. There was also I don't know if you were into any of the sports games, but do you remember the movie Swingers?
Yeah, they were playing NHL.
NHL
Make
for
'em
Genesis
bleed, yeah.
was make him bleed in his head.
Yeah.
But that game was like just the way the whistle would blow when
Yeah.
you scored. That game was one where like me and my friends got into it like that. That was probably one of the first sports games that I was like, because it was just a little better than Nintendo
Did it
as far as
have,
graphics.
like, they started doing these games called Sports Talk, where like they would have commentary, like John Madden would be like commentating and stuff, and that started on the Sega Genesis. I don't remember
Oh.
if the NHL game, if they had like full commentary, but the first time I heard full commentary like that, like blew my mind. I'm a basketball fan.
Okay.
There's a series of games called NBA 2K.
Oh yeah.
To start with the Dreamcast. I've played every single one. Now they're on 2K26.
Yep. My son has it.
I've played this game for 26 years. I've gotten every single version of it, and I play it. I've played every single one of those games.
You played every 2K?
I've played every 2K. Actually, don't have the newest one yet, but I'm gonna go get it. But
Wow.
I've played every single 2K from the first one with Allen Iverson on the cover,
Wow.
all the way through every single one.
Wait, Iverson was on the cover of the Dreamcast one?
Yeah, he was on the cover of the
Wow.
first 2 or 3 years. It was Allen Iverson.
Oh, my
And that was the first time I was like, I saw a game where like, oh my God, that looks like Scottie Pippen. That looks like Horace Grant. You know, it looked like the people.
The graphics got really good where they would
see
get
their
like
faces,
they would
yeah.
get bone, like they would get the
Yeah.
bone right, the cheekbones.
I remember Rasheed Wallace. You remember Rasheed
Yeah,
Wallace?
of course.
He had the weird little square bald spot on his head. In the game, I was like, wow, that's incredible.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. Are you a basketball fan? Like you?
Yeah, I haven't been following it as much now.
Who's your team?
Well, when I lived in Chicago, I really liked the Bulls.
Bulls,
But before that, I used to, when I first moved to the U.S., my uncle lived in Florida. So we'd go to Magic games.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, the
Wait, was that Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal?
Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, and then later Tracy McGrady when he was, and Grant Hill. Obviously, Grant Hill's career never.
That team went far though.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy McGrady was like, I would say probably one of the most underachieving basketball players of all time, along with Dwight Howard, I think. Those two, and they're both Magic guys. Both were like, I think, absolutely incredible, had absolutely legendary, I think, Hall of Fame careers, but they should have had a bunch of rings.
I feel like, and again, this is a positive show. I feel like Dwight Howard, after he got the big contract, I feel like things. Now I don't know if he had ailments. I don't know if he was, a guy.
Yeah,
that
I think
big.
T-Mac always had like back issues.
T-Mac was incredible. Your Tracy McGrady was incredible. And I remember when Tracy McGrady played with his cousin, who was Vince Carter. And on the Raptors. And I remember Vince Carter might have been the greatest in-game dunker.
Yes.
The greatest in-game dunker I've ever seen. I remember seeing Vince Carter at Madison Square Garden do a dunk that was worthy of the dunk contest.
Yeah, he's incredible.
In the game.
Half man, half amazing.
Half man, half amazing. The thing that I'm not good at basketball games because 2K is so hard to hit a
so
jumper.
Complicated.
It's got it like and the baseball game too. Somebody was like, baseball game. They're like, to hit a 99-mile-an-hour, like you have to like really time it.
You have to actually be good at baseball to hit it.
Yeah, those games I'm not so. And I've actually kind of went away from. I'll play Madden here and there.
Yeah,
but I like the Halos.
Yeah.
You know,
me too. That's mostly what I play. The Halos.
Yeah. Now, do you play Fortnite or no?
No, I stopped playing online. It stressed me out too much. So I'll tell you, NBA 2K. I forget which one it was. Might have been like, it was like 2K6 or something. So 19 years ago now. It was on an Xbox. I lived in Chicago. I had a roommate. I just started doing stand up. And I would play NBA 2K5 all the time. I'd play online. You're like, the problem is if you're like playing Halo or something, a game lasts like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You hear like a bunch of other people. If you're playing basketball, you're like with one guy for 45 minutes. You're like chilling with a dude.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little weird. So I remember I played one guy who was ranked like, I was at one point, I was ranked 11 in the country.
What?
NBA 2K5 for like a few days. And I played the number 3 guy randomly. He was the third ranked player in the country. And I remember he beat me very easily. And at the end, he was like, hey, man, you got game. And I was like, I have to stop playing this. This is not good.
You know what's also weird? If you're with the same guy for like 2 hours and he's just like, hey, dude, what are you having for dinner tonight? You're like,
yeah, I don't want this. Like one guy was talking about how his wife wants his kid and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to. This is too intense. And then later now, I play online, but I play with like I don't play against other humans. Like if a big group of my friends get together, we'll play each other.
Yeah,
all on the same team. There's a game called Gears of War. Have you ever played those?
Gears of War, no.
They have a thing called Horde mode, which is really fun, where it's like 5 of you versus waves and waves of bad guys. And in between each wave, you have to like go like fix up your walls and fix your like turrets and all this stuff. That's really fun. I don't like playing other people because it gets too competitive and I get too like stressed out. I got really into, I forget which one it was, the newest Mortal Kombat, and I had like an arcade stick, like like in the and I used to play, and I got really good, and I was like hunched over, and I started having back trouble because I was so like tense and hunched over. I had to stop playing it. So I don't really play online so much anymore. Okay,
now did you go back to video games with like Atari, and like did you go like when did you start?
I had a Commodore 64.
Wow.
That was a computer that was basically a gaming computer. So that's what I started with.
Okay.
And on that one, there was a Bruce Lee game that I used to love. Yeah, just one button, him jumping around. And I remember watching my cousin beat that game all the way to the end and how exciting it was.
It's really amazing how we grew up for a couple decades with one button and one joystick.
Yeah, and then suddenly it was Super Nintendo was the first one I remember where suddenly now these fingers come into play, the triggers show up, and you're like, whoa, this is a whole other thing. Yeah. Now I'm using these fingers too. And now you got 2 of them there.
Yeah, like the PlayStation. You got the top, then you got the triggers, and then you have the 4 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
and 2 sticks.
And 2 sticks.
Yeah.
So my parents got divorced when I was 5. My older brother was 10. So we'd visit my dad on Sundays. So he'd pick us up. There was a Nathan's. There was a big Nathan's hot dog thing on Central Avenue in Yonkers, and it was like the place. But it was gigantic Nathan's. Like, I mean gigantic, right? And then there was a bakery in there so you could get cookies, you could get your hot dogs, but in the back of this Nathan's, it was an arcade, and it was an arcade where you had to. This is the 80s and early quarters. Yeah, and it was just this lined up, and it was lined up with the classics. Mike Tyson Punch Out. Yeah. Do you remember the one where the werewolf and the King Kong they would climb the building? Was it Rampage?
Rampage.
Dude, I can't. And like that was there, and Mike Tyson, and I was like, Dad, I need more quarters. Yeah. But like $5 worth of quarters was nuts. Yeah. Because like my dad would go. my dad would go, "Hey, I'm gonna give you guys $5," and then try to make it last, but we'd always get another five.
Yeah, you know it's
But
back
it was
there.
all the classics.
Yeah.
It was all the classics that you
Yeah.
had to actual put quarters in.
Yeah.
And then the craziest thing though was when they made that game for Nintendo, I
Oh.
lost my mind.
That's what yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my god, I played, and now I could do it at home.
I used to play a game called Ghosts and Goblins at the
I remember that
arcade
game.
That then came out on Nintendo.
I remember
It was
Ghosts and Goblins.
So freaking hard. I used to play the games I used to play at the arcade. I went to arcades almost every day from probably the age of 8 to probably the age of 12 or 13. Until I got a Sega Genesis, which is about how old I was when I got it. And I'm the only one in my family that has to wear glasses, and I think it's because of that. Because I would go, it'd be super dark, disco lights. I would come out of there, and my eyes would be swollen red and weeping. I'd have tears coming down my face. Guys smoking in there, all like scary kids. Like you got to put the quarter on there. So the games I remember were Ghosts and Goblins. I used to play. I used to play a Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom game.
I remember that.
Was really, really good. You would go on a cart too. And then later it was Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
And that was that's on my list. When that game came out on the Super Nintendo and it looked just as good as it did in the arcade, I'm sure it didn't, but to my eyes it did.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. I was like, now it looks like I have an arcade in my house.
That's the next thing I wanted to go to. I'm glad you brought it up. It's a perfect segue because I want to talk about fighting games.
Yeah.
Because I was actually talking to my buddy, the producer of the show, shout out Andrew Themlis. We were talking about the first Mortal Kombat. Now here's the guy I played with. My guy in Mortal Kombat was always Raiden.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Raiden was just I loved the bolts.
Yeah.
I loved. He threw his hat too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw the hat. He had the bolts.
Yeah.
I just felt like he was in a weird way, like the leader.
Yeah.
Like I always say this.
He was a god. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a god, but I loved but that was a game where Sub-Zero could freeze you and knock you.
Yeah.
Scorpio, get over here. But this was the first one where fatalities were
It was incredible.
brutal, and you're going, dude, he pulled me, then he punched my spine out,
Yeah.
and I was
It
like,
so fun. I
so
remember
great.
I would go every day, and Street Fighter 2 had the longest line. And then one day I walked in, and the Street Fighter machine was empty. I was like, oh my god, I can just play. I was like, what's going on? Why is no? And then I looked in the corner, and there was a new game, and I made my way in front, and it was Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Everybody moved from Street Fighter 2 to Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Now that you've seen both, played both, which one did you enjoy more?
I think the newer ones, Mortal Kombat, is really, really good. I think purely, I would say my favorite fighting games of all time are Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2 was really, really incredible.
Yeah.
And then later I got really into the Soul Calibur games. Did you ever play
Yeah,
those?
I know what they are. I didn't play them.
Yeah. Those, I would say, were the heights of my my gaming. And then I still love one-on-one fighting games. My brother and I, who's 4 years younger than me, that's what we would play. We would play fighting games. And now, my wife games. She's a big gamer.
What?
But what happens is I love fighting games. But with her, in the beginning, she's all chaos and it's equal. But then I figure out the moves. I figure out the combos. I get obsessed with shit, And then I start winning, and then it's not fun for her anymore.
Wait a minute. You and your wife play each other in fighting games? Fight each other in fighting games?
Not so much, because just after the first week, I learn all the moves, and she gets annoyed, and she doesn't want to learn the moves. She's like, I just want to have fun. This isn't work. I'm like, no, honey, it's kind of work. You got to figure it out. I memorize the fatalities and stuff. I get really into it.
You got into it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened with the new Mortal Kombat, and there's a new Injustice. Is like the same company that makes Mortal Kombat made one with DC superheroes. So it's like Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. Dr. Fate was my guy. Really into those two were the ones I got into most recently.
Who was your Mortal Kombat guy you used? Who'd you go with mostly?
I liked Baraka.
Okay.
Do you remember him with and Reptile? I like the bad guy.
Reptile was
and
cool.
the first one I liked Kano. Even though he wasn't really a great fighter, I liked playing as the bad guys.
Wait a minute. Reptile would he'd eat your head with his tongue?
Yeah.
I remember Reptile.
Yeah, Reptile.
I remember
would eat your
Reptile.
head
Reptile
with
was a
his
cool
tongue,
one.
yeah.
That was Mortal Kombat 2, right?
That was Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1, Reptile was like a hidden character, but I'd never...
That's right.
The first one I was into Kano, and really, Liu Kang was kind of the most easiest to play with. But then in the new one, my guy was Scorpion. I went to Scorpion because he could teleport, and Yeah.
So you liked the bad guys.
Yeah, I used to love playing as the bad guys.
Well, I'm going to ask you this.
Like
now.
I was in Street Fighter 2, I was Blanca. Even though I don't know if he's a bad guy or just like an agent of chaos, but he looks like a monster. I like the monstery looking.
I get it. Yeah. All right. So this is off topic, but I got to ask you this because I'm a big. I mean, by the way, I love that this is like nerd out stuff, which I love. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, now
big.
Me too. Not only do I love them, I mean. They're Nick fans. They like pizza. I mean,
yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So much
for me,
going for them.
But I got into an argument with somebody about it's crazy. Like me and a couple comics on a podcast got into an argument. For me, there is absolutely no discussion, in my opinion, that Leonardo has to be the leader. He is the leader.
He is the leader.
But right, and there's people going, no, but he's not really the best. I'm going, look, you got to understand, he is. He knows. Leonardo, to me, like if somebody wants to say, no, he's not, he's the wrong leader or he shouldn't be the leader, he's the leader.
He's the leader.
And I will say, I think he's my favorite because he doesn't like to disappoint. Like he's kind of, do you know?
He's a people pleaser.
He's a people pleaser. We're comics, right? We want to, we're always trying to hone our craft. We're always trying to get better. Yeah. He feels bad.
Sure.
But for me, Leonardo is
me.
Who is it?
It was always. It was Donatello because he's the nerd. I always felt like a nerd, and when I like with those characters, I always like the nerdy ones. Like with Archie, did you read Archie comics at all? I like Dilton, the fucking nerd.
You like the nerd?
I like Dilton Doily, and I like Donatello, and I still, I have a Donatello action figure at home. I collect action figures still.
Do you?
Yeah.
Will you go to the Ninja Turtle movie?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Me too.
The first one I saw recently in theaters, like in the last 2 years. I saw the first one again recently. The original.
Was that okay? Because I think Seth Rogen did an animated.
That was great. They did a great job.
I went into the theater for that.
Yeah, me too. My wife and I both went, and then I saw it again at home.
I thought they did a great job.
They did a great job. It's fantastic.
Did they make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game? They did, right?
They did.
For
I
Nintendo?
haven't played it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there was one on Nintendo.
There was one on Nintendo, right?
The really, really good one. I know this shit too much.
No, this is what we're doing.
There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo, where you can like hop around in time. So you're like in dinosaur and pirate period and all this stuff.
Okay.
That was incredible. And then they made a version of it for the Genesis later called Hyperstone Heist. And that one didn't hop through time, and it wasn't quite as good as Turtles in Time.
Okay.
But, Turtles in Time was cool because you could grab a foot soldier and throw him at the screen. So it would, get big and, hit the camera. It was really, really exciting. So those games, Ninja Turtles has had a good run with video games. Those two were really good. And then they actually had, speaking of fighters, they had a fighter called Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. That was really good.
That I didn't see.
Super Street Fighter 2 style fighting game. And they had different versions for Super Nintendo and Genesis. And both of them were totally different. And both of them were really good.
Yeah. Yes. I got to check that out. That I didn't see. What about, remember Kung Fu?
Yeah, I played Kung Fu. That was one of the, Kung Fu was incredible. Yeah, I played it. That was one of the games I played in the arcade.
Kung Fu, Excite Bike, I liked.
I never played Excite Bike, but I know what it is. Yeah,
and it was funny because they would just add, it was when the games were primitive, so they would just add, the next level would be a bigger ramp.
Yeah.
There's
a new game that came out in the last 5 or 6 years. I think it's called Joe Danger, which is a new version of, more complicated version of that. And then there's another one. There's 2 new versions of Excite Bike. There's Joe Danger, where you're a stuntman doing stuff. And then another one that's really, really good, but really, really hard.
Like Excite Bike?
Yeah, it's like Excite Bike, but I forget the name of it. They made 2 of them. New version, not called Excite Bike, but it was really tough because you really had to get into the physics of it. You had to balance on pillars and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. What about...
Here's another game I'll mention that this is one of my favorite franchises in gaming. But I'm going to shout out the first one because that's the one I played and it blew my mind. It was on the first PlayStation when I played Resident Evil for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
I could not believe that this game existed in my lifetime. It was so scary. You could walk around anywhere. It was the first time I'd been, you go into a mansion. And in the first one, the cutscenes were actors. They'd hired actors to actually do it.
Yep.
Wasn't animated. absolutely blown away by the first Resident
The
Evil.
first Resident Evil was nuts. What
Yeah.
was Doom before all of this?
Yeah, Doom like started off on the computer before all of that, and I just actually played the newest Doom game. Doom is still a great franchise.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that they were.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would say, pound for pound, the strongest. I think Mortal Kombat has had such an odd journey, but I think it's the most consistent, other than like Mario or Zelda, which are all every single game is a home run. But I think Mortal Kombat, which started off as a Street Fighter ripoff and like sort of a, it was like a gimmick. It was violent. It looked like real people. That actually turned into like really, really great video games that are like technically great video games, and they're still great.
No, they're still great. You know what game we played in college and we got into it and we like wrote down high scores? Remember Tony Hawk snowboarding? Dude.
Tony Hawk skating, yeah.
No, but there was Tony Hawk skating, and then there was
There was a snowboarding game. Sean, what's his name?
White?
Yeah, Sean White was a snowboarder, I think.
Sean, Tony Hawk.
Is that what you got into?
Yeah, no, Tony Hawk was the skateboarding. There was but it might have been before.
Was it a game called SSX? Do you remember that?
It might have been.
SSX was a snowboarding game that was absolutely incredible.
Was that the one where you would do the spins and you would get
That's
the
the one.
points and you would go?
That's the one.
We did that.
I was obsessed with that game.
We did
They
that.
need a new one. Whoever's listening, make a new SSX.
The SSX, we would go and like you would go triple, flip, and
yeah.
land, and
it
you
wasn't like that realistic. You could go like really nuts.
It wasn't realistic.
Yeah.
You could go really nuts and spin, and
Yeah.
you would get. We did that.
That game was awesome.
Because I think Sean White came after that.
Yeah.
But that game, I was like, this is the greatest. Like we would go in the heaven, and we would all be like, he's high score now, and we would just be in college handing it off.
It was so fun.
It was so fun, and I've been searching for it, and there's not. I even said to my son, I go, is there like a snowboarding game where like you could do these crazy tricks? And he was like, no.
No, that I absolutely. The one I played, I forget which one it was, but it had like 3 sort of difficulty levels, and each one was a hill, and within each mountain there were like 10 different tracks, different parts of the mountain.
Yeah.
If you unlocked them all, you could do one race all the way from the top all the way to the bottom where every track connected, and it would take over a half hour.
Oh,
so
that's
you're
awesome.
just like playing one race for over a half hour.
That's awesome.
Really, really intense.
And Tony Hawk had a game with skateboarding where it was similar to the.
It was a similar vibe. Yeah.
It was a similar vibe to the snowboarding one, and we would go nuts with that too. I love those games. You know what other game I want to do? Like an F-16. I want to do like a Top Gun, like.
Oh, like a flying, like a fighter jet type situation.
Dude, I got one for you. I got the Oculus 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
2 Christmases ago.
Huh?
And I got into a World War I plane.
Yeah.
No, come on, I swear to God. I was in a World War.
You're in the
and
plane.
No, I was in the plane. I was flying.
Yeah.
Like we fly a lot. You know when you look out, and you see. I was doing that, and I was in the plane. I got nauseous. I got nauseous.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. And
I
it was
mean,
like,
that technology is incredible.
it was incredible. I'm like I took off, and I'm like, oh, and then all of a sudden, but I also I was in a boxing ring, and my son was behind me, and I punched our. I didn't know. I punched our.
TV?
Yeah, I broke our. It was.
You broke the TV?
My fist went through over $2,000
Really?
TV. Yeah, and my wife, we had to get another one. Luckily, my neighbor worked with, so I got a Samsung. I went, and I'm like you're almost in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And there was just this big dude.
It's incredible.
And I couldn't believe how it felt. And
you look, and it's really. I got one a few years ago too. I don't play it as much because I
don't
like
either.
to like sit on my couch and play. I want to lounge. I don't want to like run around. I don't want to be so active.
You want to
but
just kind of just
the
chill.
technology is absolutely incredible,
And it's only going to get better.
they redid, I think, Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I'm still into gaming, man. Like you said, we're the same age, but I don't have kids. I game. I game.
That's
Usually
great.
if I'm working somewhere, I bring a PlayStation with me. Like
Do
I
you?
travel with a PlayStation. Not here. I'm only here for like a couple of weeks. But when I was here, I did a play here earlier this year, and I brought my PlayStation with me, and I played it. But they redid Tony Hawk, and I used to have this thing like there was one level where the highest thing to get was like 1.5 million points, and you have like the whole run would take about 45 seconds because it's all about combos and stuff. And I had the whole thing planned out. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, like do this twirl here, jump here, do this, do that whole thing. Take about 45 seconds, and I would play it, fuck up, restart. Play it, fuck up, restart. At like 10 seconds at a time, and I looked over, and 4 hours had gone by.
Wow.
10 seconds at a time.
Wow.
I tried it now. I don't I don't have it. I can't do it the same way. I don't have that patience. Like, I feel like now. I mean, listen, my life is great, but it's hard. You know, life is hard.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you could just play video games, and that can be hard. I don't want my games to be hard now. I want my games to make me feel better.
Yeah, that's true. Like if I play my, my son's got this game that I play. What is it? Fall Guys? You ever play
Oh yeah. I have played Fall Guys.
So
Yeah.
so Fall, and you go through the
That's
things,
fun, yeah.
and it's like fun, and like stuff like that is okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like I have a 16-year-old boy. I have a 13-year-old girl. I travel the country, you know, doing stand-up. I'm doing podcasts, doing some acting here and there. I'm married. You know, I live in upstate New York. It's like I can't be sitting in front of because I'll get into it. Like I just got into I'm starting to get even more into golf.
Yeah,
do you
real
golf?
life golf.
Do you golf? No. Okay. So once you go with that,
Yeah. I know a lot of guys, a lot of comics into golf.
well, even the way that you said, like when you play a fighter game and you figure out the moves, if you played golf, it would probably take a guy like you who's smart and gets obsessed with something. You'd probably be 2 seasons and really be able to like hold your own and not embarrass yourself. And then all of a sudden it goes, oh, so what if I I did this with my hand.
I'm afraid of it.
Yeah.
I went, do you know Al Madrigal?
Of course.
Yeah, I went golfing with him once just to like hit a ball, and I was like, I don't understand it. And then he was like, hold it like this, now swing it. And as soon as I got that first swing, I was like, I have to stop right now. Because I could
you were hitting
feel, it good? Yeah. As soon as you hit it good for the first time, you're like, oh, I see what
that's what people
is.
that's exactly why
And
people
I
keep
had
coming
to,
back.
I got the same thing with like poker, you know, like I have to be careful. Like,
are you a poker guy?
yeah, but I can't do it. Because I get to, like, you know, friends playing together, and suddenly there's a guy who's like a little too, he really wants to win. Yeah, I'm that guy. Same with like, you know, table tennis. I've got that. Like if I'm at a party and there's a table tennis table, then my wife's like, I'm not gonna see him all night. I have like an obsessive personality. I'm lucky that it doesn't go to like drugs or alcohol or anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, it has helped me in my career. You know, you gotta be obsessed with stand up or acting or whatever it is, writing, whatever it is to be good. But I have that thing where I get like obsessed with things. Like
If I like something too, I really kind of like, I'm competitive. I want to be good.
Yeah.
What I like about golf is golf tests you.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just you against you,
it's,
really.
It's just like, that's why. And they said the reason why Michael Jordan does it, the reason why Barkley does it, the reason why Lawrence Taylor, these are some of the finest athletes in their profession. It's because it's the only thing that gives them the mental challenge.
I get it. Like, did you watch The Last Dance, the Jordan doc?
God, dude.
Incredible, right?
I mean, it was.
Do you remember when he was like betting with like that old security guy? And you're like, oh, Jordan just wants to win. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
he just wants
never
to win.
lets his kids win. Never, he never lets his kids win. Like,
I think that's great.
and it really upset him when that security guy won, because you saw his face, and he's going like,
he's like, you're Michael Jordan, man. I think it's okay that this guy beat you once.
Well, I'm sure you heard the stories because you're a Bulls fan. But like they would be doing $10,000 hands on the airplane going to play another NBA team.
I mean, it's just his whole life. He was just made to win, you know, made to win. I'm gonna see if there's another game we can talk about real quick.
Yeah, of course.
There is I'm a big fan of horror. Do you like horror? Do you like horror
movies?
Yeah. I love horror movies. I've loved them my whole life. Horror video games. You mentioned Resident Evil. My 2 favorite horror video games. Well, I'll mention 3. Silent Hill 2. You're like in a town.
Wait, is that zombies?
No, it's like weird. It's like weird Japanese type. It's like ghosts more than zombies.
Okay.
It's like sort of like mutants and stuff.
Because I remember seeing Silent Hill, but
really, really scary. There's like a guy, his name is Pyramid Head. He's got a big pyramid on his head, a giant sword. Just like creepy scary, you know, not like running around scary. Like I've got like 2 bullets left and I got to go through there. You know, not really action. They call it survival horror because you're not trying to kill everybody. You're just trying to not die. There's a Japanese game that very few American people have played that was huge over there called Fatal Frame 2. And what's great about that game is you're playing like a little girl. So she's like not physically strong. And the way to kill, and there's ghosts, the way to kill ghosts is you have a camera.
Wait, you're the little girl?
You're the little girl.
Okay.
And if you're a ghost, I have to like get my camera and really zoom in and like focus and click, and that's how I can defeat you. There's no guns or anything.
Okay.
So that's really scary because you got to get like really close to the ghost and really look him in the face.
That's freaking me out.
It's so fucking terrifying.
That's
like kids
sinister.
should not be allowed to play
That's
this game.
wild.
It's so good. And then a new one that's really good is a game called Alan Wake 2, which is another sort of you're basically in a town and weird shit's happening and there's a parallel universe and really, really genuinely scary. I love horror movies. I watch them all the time. My wife loves them. And those video games, I gotta shout them out because, you know, they really do a great job of making you feel like you're on your couch. It's the most terrifying thing that's ever happened.
I love the one at the arcade where you sit next to somebody and you guys can fight the zombies. But when the zombie
shooting one?
When the shooting one. And when the
House
zombie
of the
gets,
Dead?
Yes. House of the Dead.
Yeah.
And when you get further when you get further along, I love how excited we're getting.
We're so excited.
It's the
No, I
best.
love it.
No, House of the Dead is amazing, but when you get further, it gets more intense.
Yeah.
And it gets like when they get close.
Right in your face.
I don't like, you know why I got the first, you know what the first scare of my life was? This is I was talking about this with a friend the other day. The first scare of my life when I was really like creeped out, not like, but when I really felt uncomfortable was Wizard of Oz, the witch.
Oh, she's scary. Or
Dude,
those flying
I'm talking,
monkeys are
dude, when she
scary,
would
too.
come and the monkeys, and she would laugh like that. I'm like 11, I'm like 9.
Yeah.
I'm like 9.
And she
I'm-
dies bad.
and she dies bad, and the way she would like things would be fine,
Yeah.
and then this like I don't know if it made, because everybody I talked to goes, oh, that freaked me out. I think it made you think of like when a peaceful time in your house and then a fight,
Yeah.
right? Like it was almost like this
Oh,
weird.
that's so interesting.
Right? Like, think
That's
about that.
interesting.
That's how I think. It's like, why does everybody, because it really made me, because like everybody's fine.
Interesting.
And you're eating at the table in your house and
And
your
then
family.
suddenly
And then
things
all
go
of a
up.
sudden it's like, why did you not? And all of a sudden you get like that. And the witch brought that.
That's so interesting. I'd never.
And it freaked me out. Yeah, because
yeah.
I think
Wow.
I think there was a chaotic thing like that happened, childhood trauma. I don't know.
That's interesting. 'cause
Right?
I didn't. My family, I'm very lucky, was not. I'm not from a chaotic family.
Well, my family was broken, so like they was never
Yeah.
the fighting happened like away
Yeah.
behind each other's backs.
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
did this, which is still not good or healthy. It's probably why I'm sitting here. But I remember there was like peace and fun on the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
And then all of a
I
sudden
decided the
chaos.
witch- That's so interesting.
Right?
that You put it like that.
And
That's so,
I was like, man,
bet
that's a deeper.
That's great. I mean, not great, but that's a good insight. It's good to understand that's what like got inside you.
Well, I'm in therapy now, Kumail, and I'm finding out about a lot about my childhood
Yeah.
trauma. All right, so before we get out of here, I'm going to say this, and you don't have to do this because we didn't talk about this, but I'm going to say Sega Genesis for me, it's between NHL or Sonic for like my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay. Nintendo, it's really hard to go against the GOAT, which is probably Super Mario.
Yeah.
It's just hard because it was like the first like
Yeah.
task, and you had to
Yeah.
save the princess. So I hate. I know Zelda's up there.
I'll go with Zelda just to be different.
You'll go with
Yeah,
Zelda
I'll
for
go
Nintendo.
With Zelda for Nintendo.
What would you say for Sega Genesis?
That Revenge of Shinobi, that Shinobi games, and there was a game called Golden Axe. Did you ever play a game called Golden Axe? Because I love like fantasy stuff. I love
Okay.
like Lord of the Rings.
I
type
played
stuff.
Golden Eye for.
Yeah,
Remember
GoldenEye was great. GoldenEye was great. That was N64. Yeah, I never had an N64, but I played it at friends' houses. Like my favorite, I love horror, but I love fantasy, like dragons, swords, magic, all that stuff. So Golden Axe was set in that world. It was like, do you know Double Dragon?
Of course.
It was like Double Dragon,
Dragon.
but in fantasy world.
I remember Double Dragon.
And you could like hit a guy who's riding a dragon, get on the dragon and ride it. And there was one level you're like walking the whole time, and there's like giant feathers coming at you. And at the end of the level, you see that you're like have been on a giant eagle the whole time. You see its head like this big. That game. It's either that game or Revenge of Shinobi are my favorites on Genesis.
Talking about all these games, and I'm thinking about the classics, obviously, you think about Donkey Kong, you think about all those games. But I think to this day, I will say on this podcast with you here, and by the way, I'm so glad you're here because this is the best conversation about video games that we could have had. But I think for me, if I have to say an undisputed champ, for me, it just goes to the first Halo. Only because it was the first time that I actually jumped backwards while playing a video game. The colors, the fear of the thing, having the, and then you know what? It was the first time that I got like swarmed by the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, because as I got to another level, it wasn't like, oh, there's two there and two there. It was like they're, and all of a sudden you see them flood, the little ones.
Yeah. The
and I'm
little
like,
guys,
oh,
flood.
I'm like they're just coming. That to me, for me, if like I had to play, there's a question. We'll end it on this. If you could only play one video game the rest of your life, what would it be?
Really?
One more. See, I think I can say Halo. I could say even one of the Halos. I would probably say one, but if you could only play one, what would it be?
I think it would be Skyrim. I would live in that world.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that was your go-to before.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Please plug your special.
Yeah. Night Thoughts on Hulu. I don't know when this comes out.
Soon.
Yeah. So Night Thoughts on Hulu, Disney Plus, rest of the world. Watch it. It's my last special was in 2013. I didn't do stand up for like 10 years, and really proud of it. I'm really happy with how it went, and yeah, watch it. Hope you dig it.
I could tell you guys from what I've seen on it, it does not look like this guy took any time off, and it's really great. I was genuinely laughing out loud, and if that wasn't true, I wouldn't say it. I would say check it out. But I really loved it, guys. From my dates, go to paulvirzi.com. I'm going to Providence, Rhode Island on New Year's Eve.
Great town.
Yes,
I spent 4 months there last year.
Really,
lot of great food.
Dude, there's
a lot of great Italian food.
Yes, and I went to the Italian market, so I'm going to be in Providence on New Year's Eve. On January 8th, I'm going to one of my favorite comedy clubs in the country, which is the Washington, D.C. Improv, so you could check that out. And then I'm going to be in Tampa Valentine's Day weekend, the 14th through the 12th through the 14th. Go to paulvirzi.com for my dates. Check out Kumail's special, Night Thoughts, on Hulu. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Play all the video games that we just talked about, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.